All right, what's up, guys? Mags here. Today is December 15th of 2020, and we're going to do some Bitcoin analysis. So just jumping right into the daily TPO chart we've got here. You can see all my levels that we've got marked out. We've got a couple naked point of controls. We've got a value area right here that we're trading around, and then we've got all the value extremes on the other end. I'm pretty neutral bias right now. I don't think it makes sense to have too much of a directional bias until we break from the range because I trade this like a range trader, right? We formed a range, we broke out of it, we deviated it, quote unquote. We reaccepted into this. So now there's two factors to consider, right? That the time spent in the range and the direction that we break out of the range, right? So the direction that we break out of the range is simple. That's just my directional bias. When we have a convincing break up or a convincing break down, I'm going to continue in that direction. And then the element of how much time we spend in here is also huge because the more time spent within this range, the further the range break is going to go. So when you have a range that's built up over a day or two, you're not going to get as much as if you have a range that's built up over a week or more. See? So pretty straightforward stuff. I'm super neutral bias. I'm not even really scalping this right now. I'm just taking some time off. It's near the end of the year. I just think it's time to reassess things, um, work on your systems, maybe do some testing, and more importantly than anything, just take some time off and spend it with your family. Absolutely. Okay, so just to summarize it real quick, yeah, I mean, these are all my levels. I'll be operating off of these. Once we break the range, I'm going to go in that direction, and until then, I'm going to play it pretty neutral bias. I'm just playing some light intraday strategy, but I'm not really scalping it too hard right now. Just don't think it's worth the effort. I'm just enjoying a little time off right now, or a little maybe not time off, but a little bit more relaxed approach to trading. Um, One last thing I want to touch on before we end this is the idea of the future levels that we're going to be trading off of. So I've seen on Twitter people talking about how as we move up that there isn't clearly defined levels for us to trade off of because we have no previous price action to trade off of. Well, it's my opinion really that if we're trading off of these levels that are several years old anyways, that you really shouldn't be getting the true responses that we think we will. Do the levels from 3 years ago work? Yeah, they absolutely do. But what I'm getting at is that you can derive your levels as price action develops, and that is kind of one of the many advantages to the tools and system that I use is that I can, if we do break up from this range, where my resistance level is going to be, well, I can draw them as they develop. And that's what's so great about this stuff. I'm not saying that the first time we get to 21,000 that I'm going to be able to know that that's a resistance level, but as the TPO develops over time, I'm going to be able to use those levels to trade off of. So that's a little piece of useful alpha if we do break up, which it's pretty likely that eventually we break up. I would say my my bias is probably that we do come down. We're either going to come down to the upper 17s or the upper 16s, but who knows? I don't, and I'm not positioned for that type of trade. That's just what my gut tells me. But I don't trade off what my gut tells me. I know that a lot of Twitter people do, but I think that that's foolish. I trade off what the system tells me, and I have a very mechanical approach to when to take a trade, why to take a trade, and all that kind of stuff. And then I use my discretion for how to enter, how to manage it, and stuff. And I do have some mechanical rules for management and entries, but mostly that's where my discretion is going to come in. So yeah, let's go ahead and zoom out real quick. We'll look at the levels, hop on the weekly, and then when we hop on the weekly, it's really obvious that we've just ever since we broke up from 9K, we moved up to 12, and then when we broke down from 12, we had a really nice accumulation that we ran up from. So this is pretty great. There is, I'd say probably the lowest we go is probably in to maybe fill out this right here, because this isn't the most efficient price action. So, 14 is probably our best chance for a long. I think it's stupid to not be um, bullish longer term on this thing. It's just really obvious that we're in a real bull trend here, but that doesn't mean that it's going to go up now. So who knows if it breaks up or down? It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of trading. Everyone that gets so focused on calling the move before it happens, I think this is a massive mistake. Just simply play the break as it comes. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you, and everyone have a good one. Good holiday.